Got a great episode for you today. Going to be sharing with you Boulder, Colorado. I'm an alumni, went to University of Colorado Boulder almost 20 years ago, believe it or not. But I am super excited to share with you guys some of my pros and also some of my cons of living in Boulder, Colorado. Stay tuned. All right, so as I said, today is going to be all about Boulder, Colorado. Haven't done a video yet on this part of Denver, which is a little bit northwest of town. However, I still consider it Denver for out-of-towners and people that are considering moving here to the Mile High City, the Denver, Colorado area. But today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my pros and my cons. Before we get started though, as always, my name is Adam Lang. I'm a licensed realtor here in Denver, Colorado. Love making videos just like this one you're about to watch right now. What I enjoy really more than that is just connecting with viewers like yourselves, hopefully jumping on a quick Zoom call and just learning a little bit more about you. So my phone number, my email, all that info is down below. Feel free to reach out, and don't forget also hit that like and the subscribe button. Every week I release new videos about all different types of parts of town, and I'm excited to share it with you. But for today, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be sharing with you my pros and my cons of Boulder, Colorado. Go Buffs. All right, so jumping right into it, my first pro of Boulder, Colorado, I got to start with just the outdoor lifestyle. You know, I've talked about this as a pro in other parts of Denver, especially Golden and just the southwestern side of town, like Littleton, and just, you know, places that are closer to the mountains. What I love though so much about Boulder, it's in its own little bubble. It's in its own little part of the state where there's different mountain ranges, different trails, different hiking, rock climbing, mountain biking. It is the mecca of outdoor sports and just outdoor adventure right out your back door. So, you know, this video is really speaking to people that are, if you're out of state and you're considering moving here to Denver, if you're somebody that just is all about the outdoors, and that's one of the biggest reasons why you're choosing to consider moving to Colorado, Boulder might be a spot you want to consider. So my first pro here is just talking about the outdoor lifestyle. So as I went to college here back in the early 2000s, this is one of the reasons why I chose to stay in state and go to Boulder. So CU Boulder is such an amazing university. It brings so many outdoorsy people. And when I say outdoorsy, I don't mean hippies and people that are on that far end of the spectrum of outdoorsy. But what I mean is just people that appreciate the ability to, on a daily basis, to get out and get, even if it's just 30 or 45 minutes, but you're so close to so many different activities. You know, one of my favorites as I went to college here was going up to Chautauqua Park. Chautauqua Park is basically just the entrance to those amazing picturesque Flatiron Mountains. There's 3 different Flatirons, and there's a lot of different activities you can do up there. Most people choose just to take their dog or just to go for an afternoon hike up to the base of the Flatirons. However, there are some incredible rock climbing routes. There's some more technical hikes if you want to get further up into this Flatiron Mountains, and also a ton of great mountain biking. And that's just to name a few activities. But I really just want to get the point across that all of this is literally within a 5-10 minute drive. Some cases you can even walk to this Chautauqua Park from where you live. So frequently getting rated as one of the best places to live. I know Outside Magazine has rated it as #1 on multiple occasions, as well as other publications. And you know, there's a reason for that, and it's because it is just an incredible place. So if outdoor lifestyle is important to you, I would definitely recommend, you know, coming out to Boulder and just seeing firsthand with your own 2 eyes just how special of a spot this is. All right, so going right into my second pro, I'm going to tell you guys my pros first, and then I'll go to the cons. So kind of starting with the positive, and I'll end it with if it is negative. I don't really consider my cons today as negative, but my second pro that I want to share with you, on top of just the outdoor lifestyle that I mentioned earlier, in addition to that, it's just the healthy and fit community that is very unique to anywhere else in the country, in my opinion. So Boulder obviously has this amazing backdrop with the Flatirons and just all of these outdoor activities available to you, which is why my first pro was just this outdoor lifestyle. But what I want to add to that is just the community around it. So because it's such a special place, Boulder attracts some of the fittest and healthiest people on the planet. So even if you're already somebody in your hometown that maybe is at the top end of the fit, you know, list of people in your town, it's humbling to come to Boulder and just see the level of healthy and fit people that choose to live in Boulder, Colorado. I'm talking, triathlon athletes, just some of the most accomplished cyclists and rock climbers and ultra marathoners and ultra runners, and just all of these people congregate to Boulder, and it is just an incredible community. So if you're somebody that is a firm believer that the circle you surround yourself with really elevates your own excellence or just your own ability to really perform at that higher level, Boulder has an incredible opportunity. So, I know that's not something that maybe is a top of the list reason for a lot of people in choosing where to live, where their next home might be. In Boulder, though, if you are somebody that fits that very small percentage of people that, healthy lifestyle and just being fit and nutrition and, all of those types of things are very, very important to you, Boulder is a place that you really can't compete with. There's no other alternatives in a lot of the different states in the United States of America, but as well as even in Colorado, there's aren't really that many other places that afford you the same type of lifestyle. So, Boulder, we get over 300 days of sunshine a year, and we also have some of the best restaurants, shopping, and when I say shopping, I mean performance athlete type shops, very specialized type different places to go for whatever sport your main lane of focus is. But it is just a spot that is really hard to even put into words until you come out and see it for yourself. So my second pro, in addition to just the outdoor lifestyle, it's the community that has really been created over the last 30 plus years of athletes choosing to congregate and relocate to Boulder and really just bring everybody up a couple notches above where they currently are through that sense of community. The last thing I'll mention when I'm talking about this kind of outdoor lifestyle, but also this community that exists in Boulder, is it is incredibly friendly to cyclists, to runners. Everywhere you go in Boulder, they have really done a great job over the last decade and a half of, creating pedestrian-friendly streets, very safe walkway, crosswalks and different ways to get around town without having to, stop at every stoplight on your bike and wait. And, they've been very, very intentional with building out Boulder over the last, I say decade and a half, because I feel like in the last 15 years is really when this started ramping up. But you just have a place that is very friendly to cyclists, to runners on the road, and really just any other activities that are going on where you're having to share, the road and the traffic with cars. So, again, this is just something that's not really talked about as frequently, and probably not something you're even going to really think about until you come to Boulder and to see firsthand just how well they've really crafted the city. Definitely check that out when you guys are coming out to Boulder. And that's why my second pro is, again, just this active lifestyle community of people that exist in Boulder, Colorado. Pausing the video for 2 seconds. As you guys know, my name is Adam Lang. I'm a licensed realtor here in Denver, Colorado. I love making videos just like this, but what I enjoy even more is just connecting with viewers like yourselves, hopefully finding a few different ways that I can provide value. Whether you're moving now, 6 months from now, or even 2 years, I would still love the opportunity to connect with you. So my phone number, my email, all that info is down below. Please reach out. And one last thing, I have a completely free 32-page buyer's guide. It goes through everything you need to know about buying a home in Denver, Colorado. We'd love for you to get a free copy of it. There's a link down below. Just click that and I'll send it over to you. But for now, let's get back to the rest of the video. All right, so shared with you guys my 2 pros, active, healthy lifestyle, and just that community that exists because of it. My first con that I want to share with you isn't a big surprise for a lot of you, I'm imagining, and that's just going to be the cost of living. Boulder is always going to be at the top of the list when it comes to expensive places to buy real estate in Denver, Colorado, and in the surrounding suburbs. So, Boulder, unfortunately, is just so popular that the prices have skyrocketed over the last 15 to 20 years. But really throughout, my entire life growing up as a Colorado native, Boulder has always been on the high end of cost of living. And, another reason I would say that exists is the University of Colorado. So, with the University of Colorado, it has also incredibly grown in popularity over the last couple decades. Before it used to be a lot more in-state tuition people, a lot more people that are just, coming from Colorado schools and then going to the university there. I'm one of those people. But nowadays, it has become so popular that, everything has become much more expensive. and just the percentage of students that are out of state has also increased. And these are all students that are very affluent families and people that are coming into Boulder with a lot of money. So not only on the real estate purchase side of things, but even just on the rents. Rents are also very high in comparison to most other places in Denver. And that has to do just with the supply and demand, and also just the affluence of people that have come into Boulder to study at the University of Colorado, but also people that have post-graduation have also decided to stay in Boulder, or people that have just come to relocate to Boulder just to enjoy all these other amenities that we're talking about today. So cost of living is definitely a con for a lot of people, and it's definitely a barrier of entry for many as well. There are different parts of Boulder that we can go into more depth with. There's North and also South Boulder. In North Boulder, you can even continue to go a little bit further, and there's some great neighborhoods that are worth checking out. Reach out to me, phone number, email, all that info is down below if you'd like to check out some of these, which are going to be Gun Barrel and also Longmont. These areas have also gotten extremely just popular over the last, several years, and really become much, much more attractive to people to consider living. In the past, these were areas that were always kind of, a little bit on the outskirts of town, and most people really were just thinking that it was too far away from Boulder and just areas they really wouldn't even consider living. Nowadays, it's really done a complete 180. A lot of people even prefer to live in these areas because one other con that I will briefly touch on is just how congested Boulder has become. When I just go up to Boulder, like I was up there earlier today, you almost feel like you're in California. The roads are busy. I'm a little bit more concerned about just my driving skills when it comes to some of these roads, worrying about people hitting you, parallel parking in very tight, confined areas. It just doesn't really feel like a lot of the other parts of Colorado feel, It's just a little bit more congested, a little bit more just of a different feel that you really only find in Boulder. I can't think of a single other area really in Denver or in Colorado for that matter that has that same level of just difference in comparison. So if you guys are, coming from California, Chicago, even some of these bigger cities in Texas or any other state that just has a little bit more volume of people, you're probably already used to this and probably won't be a big thing to you at all. But I just want to mention this because if you're relocating from a state and from a city that maybe doesn't currently have that type of vibe, you're going to be, a little bit surprised when you come to Boulder and are just kind of overwhelmed in a sense at just how many people are in Boulder. And now the one last thing I'll say before moving on is with Boulder being a university town with the University of Colorado at Boulder, what's really interesting is just to see how drastically it changes from when it's in the school is in session versus summer, and the different breaks that we have in summer and also in winter. If you're coming to Boulder in the fall, it's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be a lot of people, a lot of stuff going on. However, if you come to Boulder in July or early August, a lot of the students go home for the summer, and it really does have a different feel. And I would almost kind of relate it to like a ski town where you have a little bit more quiet, kind of a slumber season of Boulder where it's great. I really enjoyed when I lived in Boulder for 4 years, enjoyed these kind of off seasons where you can enjoy a little bit more peace and quiet. You don't have to worry quite as much about parking and some of these other things. And you can just kind of have the city to yourself a little bit more. So I just wanted to at least mention that to you guys. So when you come out here, you're not kind of surprised and overwhelmed at just how busy Boulder can be at times. And for that, I'm going to give that a con. Cost of living, but also just the very congested, just busy place. All right, so shared with you guys 2 pros and 2 cons today. Really, I just want to kind of give you a little teaser of what Boulder's all about. I'm going to be doing a couple more videos specific to Boulder in the next weeks to come, so stay tuned for that. But just to recap, my 2 pros first are going to be just that outdoor lifestyle, meaning the ease and the accessibility of so many amazing activities, all within a 5 or 10 minute drive with the Flatiron Mountains, Chautauqua Park, and just all of the different trails that are right out your back door if you live in Boulder. And then my second pro was just talking about that community that all of this outdoor just lifestyle creates. So just the incredible community of pro athletes, some of the most fit, nutrition-focused people on the planet, and how those people are going to be, right in your same community. So if you're really an a person that's just really trying to elevate your skills when it comes to professional sports, or just being even more outdoorsy and active than you currently are, that is something that makes Boulder incredibly special. So that was my second pro. And then going back to my 2 cons to summarize those, the first one is going to be cost of living. Boulder is without a doubt always one of the most expensive areas in all of Denver and really in all of Colorado on the Front Range. And then my second con is just talking about the congestion and just how the traffic can get a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're coming from a place that maybe you're not quite as used to that as the big city people that are moving to Colorado right now. So those are my pros, those are my cons. Guys, I would love to share more about this with you. So my phone number, my email, all the info's down below. Even if you're not considering moving in the near future, I would love to still connect with you. So feel free to reach out. I also have a really, really valuable 31-page buyer's guide. I'll send it to you for free. Just drop a comment down below and give me your email address. I can share that with you too. And as always, guys, I release new videos every single week. So don't forget, hit that like and the subscribe button. That way, every single week, you're the first to get notified about my new videos coming out. Love sharing this one with you today. Boulder's an amazing place. Go Buffs. CU alumni here. So obviously, I have a very special affinity for this part of the state. And guys, I'm excited to share more about Boulder in the weeks to come with you. So for today, I'm signing off. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys next week on an all new episode of Living in Denver. I'll talk to you then. Bye.